in a meeting, a glass-walled office, end of the week, and you've just made your point. Clearly, calmly, exactly the way you rehearsed it. And a colleague tilts their head, gives you a little smile, and says, "I love your energy." It sounds like a compliment. It might even sound warm. But something tightens in your chest, because underneath it, you know it wasn't one. That's one of the quiet phrases the British workplace uses to put you back in your box. And once you can hear them, nobody does it to you again. Because over here, nobody shouts, nobody insults you. It's all polite, all professional, all deniable. A smile, a bit of banter, a word like tone or fit. That politeness is the weapon. And if you're the only one in the room who looks like you, you've heard more of these than most. You've just been told, every time, that you are imagining it. In this video, I'll give you 7 of them. The exact words, what's really being said underneath, and what to say back the moment you hear it. By the end, you'll never sit in another meeting wondering if it was just you. And if this is already landing, save it now. You'll want it before your next one-to-one. Let's start where we began. You make a sharp point, and instead of engaging with it, someone says, "I love your energy," or "You've got such presence." You probably took it as a compliment. That's what it's designed to feel like. But here's what's actually happening. It praises your manner, never your mind. It's a way of sounding supportive while pointedly not agreeing that you were right. And it's the polite cousin of "you're so articulate." Praise for being surprising instead of praise for being correct. The tell? It lands right after your strongest point, never your weakest. Watch the timing. So don't smile and move on. Pull it back to substance. Thanks, and on the actual proposal, what's your read? Now they have to engage with your thinking, not your vibe. The next one doesn't happen out loud in the room. It happens in writing. You've explained something with a bit of nuance, a timeline, a risk, a qualified opinion, and back comes the reply. "Just so I'm clear, are you saying..." And then they restate it. Except it's not what you said. It's flatter, harder, more extreme. They've stripped out every qualifier and asked you to confirm the version you never actually gave. It sounds like good faith. Asking for clarity always does. But what's really happening is they're locking you into a position, on the record, that they can use later. Here's the UK version that bites. You said a project might slip if 2 dependencies move. The clarification becomes, so you're saying we'll miss the deadline. 6 weeks on, when it does slip, you're the one who predicted failure, not the one who flagged a risk. Don't accept the paraphrase. Slow it right down. To be precise, here's exactly what I said, and restate it in your own words. If it's email, quote yourself, word for word. You don't owe anyone a worse version of your own point. The third one is where words turn into a quiet paper trail. You raise something real in front of the people who matter. It's gaining traction. The room is listening. And someone says, "Great point. Let's take this offline." Or, "Let's circle back on that later." It feels respectful, like they took you seriously. So you nod, and the meeting moves on. You won't get that conversation back. Your point was alive in a room full of decision makers, and it's just been moved somewhere with no audience, no witnesses, and usually no calendar invite. It doesn't get scheduled. It gets forgotten. And the longer it sits offline, the more your idea quietly loses its momentum. 2 moves. First, pin it down in the room. Sure, when works. Let's put it in the diary now. Public commitments are much harder to ghost. Second, and stronger, send the recap email yourself. Don't wait for someone else's notes. Lay out the point you raised and that it was deferred. Now your position survives, even if the offline chat never happens. The 4th one is aimed at how you speak, and in this country, that's rarely neutral.
You push back on something, firmly, professionally, and instead of answering you, someone asks, "Is that the right tone for the room?" Or, "Let's keep it constructive." Suddenly, the conversation isn't about your point anymore, it's about your delivery. And notice who gets asked this and who doesn't. This is tone policing. The same firmness that reads as passionate or decisive in one colleague gets relabeled aggressive or difficult in another. If you're a black professional, you already know which side of that you tend to land on, and how fast the room agrees with the person doing the policing. What's really happening? They've changed the subject from the argument you're winning to a debate about your manner, where you can't win, because the goalposts are feelings, not facts. Don't defend your tone. The moment you do, you've accepted the frame. Stay flat and redirect. My tone's fine. Let's stay on the decision. What's the actual objection? Pull it back to the substance, every time. The 5th one changes the entire room without anyone saying a word. You're in an email thread, normal back and forth. Then the next reply lands and there's a new name on the CC line. Your manager, or their manager, someone 2 levels up. And at the top, cheerfully, just looping in for visibility, or plus for awareness. Nothing visible happened. No accusation, they just added a name. But you both know what they actually did. This isn't visibility, it's escalation in disguise, the quiet British version of covering yourself. From this moment, every word you write has a witness. Every pushback has an audience. And they've done it without saying a single negative thing about you, which is precisely the point. It doesn't damage your reputation in one moment. It restructures every moment after it. The walls are glass now, and you didn't put them up. 3 moves, fast. 1, don't react emotionally. The CC was the trap, and reacting confirms it. 2, take the narrative first. Reply with a calm recap. Thanks for looping in. To bring everyone up to speed, here's where we are. And tell the story in your words before they tell it in theirs. 3, calmly, loop in someone of your own. The CC field is a chessboard. They moved a piece. You move one back. The 6th one decides whether you ever get through the door at all.
A role opens, a project, a promotion. You're qualified, and somehow it goes to someone else, with the explanation, "We needed the right fit for this stage," or "It's about culture fit." Fit sounds harmless, even sensible, but ask what it actually measures, and you'll find it almost never means skill. It means sameness, comfort, one of us. Culture fit is the most polite gate in the building. It's how a decision that would sound indefensible if said plainly, "We'd rather it went to someone more like us," gets dressed up as a neutral business judgment. And because it's vague, it's almost impossible to challenge. You can't appeal a vibe. Here's the tell. When the feedback is all about fit and never about a specific fixable gap in your work, that's not feedback. That's a closed door with a friendly sign on it. So make the vague concrete. Help me understand. Specifically, what would I need to demonstrate to be the right fit next time? Force it into measurable terms, in writing. Either they give you a real answer you can act on, or they reveal there was never a real answer at all. Both tell you exactly where you stand. And the seventh is the one that means the decision has already been made.
This one doesn't whisper. It arrives in a calm, scripted sentence. We're starting a consultation, or your role is being put at risk. In the UK, those are not casual words. At risk and consultation are the formal machinery of redundancy, and by the time you hear them, a great deal has usually already been decided in rooms you were never in. But here's what most people don't realise in that moment, and it's the reason this is the most important phrase on the list. A consultation is not a formality you just sit through. It's a process with rules, and those rules are yours too. You have the right to a genuine consultation, not a done deal. If it's 20 or more roles, there are minimum consultation periods. You can ask how the selection pool was chosen and how you were scored, and an unfair or discriminatory scoring is challengeable. You have the right to be told about suitable alternative roles. If you're offered a settlement agreement, it isn't legally binding until you've had independent legal advice, and the employer usually has to contribute to the cost of that advice. So never sign in the room. Never sign in a panic. So the moment you hear "at risk," don't go quiet and hope. Get it all in writing. Ask for the selection criteria and your scores. Take advice before you sign anything. The people who land on their feet aren't the ones who saw it coming earliest. They're the ones who knew the process was theirs to use too. Here's the pattern under all 7. Not one of them was someone telling you the truth to your face. Everyone was polite, everyone was deniable, and everyone was built to make you doubt yourself instead of them. That's the design. It's why so much of this goes unchallenged, because nothing that happened ever looked wrong. But you're not most people anymore. You just spent 15 minutes learning what these phrases actually mean and exactly what to say back. So the next time someone smiles and says, "I love your energy," or "let's take this offline," or "we need the right fit," you won't sit there wondering if it was just you. You'll know exactly what happened and exactly what to do about it. If this helped, subscribe. I post these every week. And tell me below, which of these 7 have you actually heard at work? Drop the number.